Hey guys, it's me again, Camila. As you know, I am Argentinian American, but I live in Madrid. And here this morning, I want to share with you what I do to set goals, monthly goals, to get closer to the life that I want. And I think this will be super useful for anyone who wants to be really intentional and take action in different areas of their life. In case you don't know me, I am Argentinian, Spanish, Swiss, and American. I was born in Argentina. I grew up in the US, and 4 years ago, I decided to leave no kidding, what I thought was my dream job, for an organization that I really respect, but I just didn't want to work there anymore. And I was a bit fed up with the US. I'm sure that's something that many people are saying lately, and because I have a Spanish family and I grew up coming here for the summers, I decided to move here. And I am super intentional about not only just having fun and really experiencing and life as much as possible, but also making sure that all areas in my life are where I want them to be. So the video for today, I want to share with you what I do to get closer to my, let's say, desired life, right? Which is I set monthly goals in different important areas. You can set them in the areas that you care the most. Typically, it would be health, finances, career, friends. But I'm going to share with you, I have 11 right now. I think I'm over ambitious, but I have set 11 key areas in my life that I want to make sure I have a good, let's say, management. Clearly, you can see I went to business school, but that I have a really good idea of how it's going and where I want it to go. So I'm going to share it with you. The first one is character. I think it's really important because character is how people view us, but also how we deal with life. And also, I feel like people tell me I am a very friendly and fun person, very positive, but people always say you have a very strong character. Take it as you will. So I'm like, okay, if I have a very strong character, clearly I want that character to go in the right direction. So the first goal I have is character. And I change it. Sometimes my character, I want to be positive, or I want to be fearless, or I want to be a really respectful person, or I want to be a really encouraging person. So character, or I want to be someone that doesn't complain, because sometimes I get in ruts, right? And I complain too much. So what I usually do is in this first kind of goal area, which is my character, I will write the goal, what I would like. For example, I would like to be more positive in my day-to-day. That's a great goal, but then you need to put the action. What are you going to do? So you could say, I want to reduce my negative comments every day. Something I recently integrated is accountability. That's another subsection. And by the way, as I'm sharing this, and you might be like, where in the sphere do you write these things down? I have a Google Doc, or a Word document. For me, it's the easiest way to edit. I think some people might prefer to write in a journal, but for me, I like to be very action oriented. For me, it's easy on a computer. No matter where in the world I am, I know I'm going to be able to see those goals, or on my phone if I'm walking around and I want to add an idea. Add it on a Google Doc or something that you can edit on the go, and it's easy to clean. So I have the first goal is the character area. I want to reduce negative talk or complaining. Accountability, I have that undersection, or subsection, which is how will you ensure that you will practice this? I want to be more positive, therefore I want to complain less. Accountability could be, for example, I read this once. You wear a bracelet, and every time you complain, you will move the bracelet from one arm to the other arm, like this. And that way, you will be super aware of each time you complain. So it's the one way you will make sure. Or accountability, I will put a Post-it note on my fridge every time I try to reach, I don't know, someone might do a healthy snack. For me, it's vino, wine. I love it. And then another subsection that I do, there's two more, is next action idea. like sometimes I get many ideas for character. Like the next one is I want to be extremely fearless. Well, you can't do a million goals every month or you will burn out. So I have a next action idea under that, so that throughout the days I can write ideas for the next month. And then another one that is super important is accomplished. So here on a monthly basis, when I review the goal, how did I do, I also complete the part of accomplished. Maybe I didn't, maybe I did. Sometimes I do. And I think it's really important to keep track of what you've accomplished, because otherwise we're constantly thinking of what we lack, right? And that's not a desired state, to be constantly thinking of like, I'm not doing enough, I need to do better. That's like very tiring. And I think it is really important to look at life from a more grateful viewpoint, and also like being proud of ourselves. We should be our biggest cheerleader. We shouldn't be seeking like external validation all the time. It is nice when people tell us compliments, but we should be complimenting ourselves much more. So accomplish is super important, even if it's very small. Like saying 3 times this month, I caught myself about to say something negative and I didn't. That's a huge win, and that's why we write our goals. So that was the first one, is character. The second one has to do with health, because it's super important. That obviously measures the quality of your life. For me, it's physical and mental, because I think both are extremely intertwined. Like I could write a goal about going to the gym more, and as much as it seems like a physical goal, and for me, going to the gym actually really helps with my mental health. For me, it's like I struggle a lot with anxiety, so that is super important. Or if it has to do physical, like eating healthier. In the end, as much as it seems it's physical, for me it's so intertwined with mental health. So I do physical and mental health. And again, I write the goal, what I would want, or actually the goal would be the physical and mental health. And then accountability, how are you going to make sure that you will take that action? Then like the next action ideas, because sometimes I'll be like, I want to reduce coffee, I want to eat less sugar, I only want to drink wine 3 times a week. It's gonna sound like I'm an alcoholic. I am not, but in Madrid there are so many opportunities to go out drinking, and I don't know if you know what vermouth is. Game changer, but it's very yummy, it's very sweet, delicious. Yeah. And then again, the accomplished. So that's the second one. The third one, and I'm just going to finish saying what are the rest of the goals that I have for me. Again, you can change them. So the first one I said is character. The second one is physical and mental health. The third one, these are like, I've been evolving them more, but platonic relationships. And this is friendships and family. So I live quite far from my immediate family. That's funny, far, immediate, oxymoron, but so my mom's whole family lives in Aranjuez, which is the outside of like the outskirts of Madrid. It's a beautiful, beautiful town. If anyone comes to Spain and you're in Madrid, go to Aranjuez. It's gorgeous. It's like a fairy tale town. But my dad live in the US, and my sister lives in Argentina. So they're very far, and like time goes by, and if you don't work in relationships, at first it feels like they're kind of neutral, but then I do think they deteriorate. So you do need to proactively work on relationships, not just your partner, or your boyfriend, or your girlfriend. Like I really think it's really important to work on family relationships. So what I do is sometimes I'll set a goal of like calling my mom every week, or once I did a goal of like send random pictures to my mom and my sister when something reminds me of them. Like they're such small goals, but if you're reviewing your goals every month, which is what I do, I write these goals at the beginning of every month. That you can decide when, but for me it's easier at like right before the new start of a month. I review these and I keep updating. Think about it. It's 12 chances throughout the year to get closer to creating the life that you want. And I don't want this to sound like very self-helpy or woo-wah kind of thing, but like life is so short. I could get very emotional about this, but like no day is guaranteed. No day, no hour is guaranteed. Literally right now, I don't know, a bird could fly in my apartment and like hit my head and I'm knocked out. I don't know, but like even though if whoever's watching this, maybe you're young, like you could pass away before people in your life that are much older than you. So I do think it's super important to live a very intentional life, at least to make sure that what you experience, you can't control everything, but the nugget that you can control in your life, make it as aligned as what you want. For me, that's really important for me, and I think that probably will be helpful for you to enjoy your life as much as you can. So yeah. So platonic relationship, again, friends and family. The fourth goal that I have is romantic relationships. That's a whole thing for me. My goodness. I am single. I've done lots of dating, and that's definitely a key area I need to work in. So my current goal is going to therapy, and I highly recommend it. The fifth goal is work, and it's different from career because for me, I feel like lately, because I'm very anxious, very perfectionist, I get very antsy and whatnot. So this tip is more about like, how in my day to day at work am I showing up my best version, or I'm connecting with my colleagues, like in a way of like, how can I do my best job in my current job and enjoying my day to day at this work. The next one is career. Like your vision long term for your career. Maybe it's like, your goal for the next month could be like taking up a Coursera course to brush up on a certain skill, or update my resume, or have a coffee with someone. This is like your long term career, so it's not your current job. The next one, super important. I don't think I said at the beginning of the video, but I am Swiss, and actually I think anyone living on this planet cares about money. So my seventh goal is finance. Funny that it's my number 7 goal. I think number 7 is my lucky number. So number 7 is finance, and this is how I try to save money, or how I try to build my income. The ninth, for me, it's important, is beauty. Why? It may sound very vain, but I grew up in a household where it felt like beauty was very undermined. So I come from a religious family, who I love very much, but like beauty was definitely like not even prioritized. It was kind of looked down upon as being extremely vain. So I'm trying to incorporate more in my life. You know, you're only 30 once. You're only this young once. I'm single. So I want to be a little more intentional about my beauty. That doesn't mean, my goal wasn't to wear braids every day, but it's to take care of myself, maybe my skin, or maybe like make the most of my wardrobe with the clothes I buy, being more daring, like taking out those outfits and looking amazing every single day. As you can tell, I move my hands a lot. Maybe I'm actually Italian too. Who knows? The number 8th goal, which is really important for me, is hobbies. So I really, really care about, like, I don't really like watching TV. I don't really like watching Netflix, although I do sometimes when I'm tired. So I play tennis, I play the piano, but these are goals because I don't just willy-nilly do these things. I go to classes, I practice. Like for me, for example, one goal was to make sure that I played piano Mondays and Fridays before work, before connecting online. Or I was going to tennis class and I noticed I was skipping some classes to meet up with friends. So I would try to make sure that like at least once a week I was going to tennis class. So the 9th, I think I have gone back. I have had one coffee this morning, but I think I literally just went from like 9th goal to 8th goal. Wow. Anyways, it doesn't matter the order because I'm sharing with you what my goals are. I want you to really reflect key areas in your life. And as you work on this every month and year to year, I've been doing this for years, you can keep kind of shaping up and editing. This is a live document, and this is to orient your life towards where you want your life to go. It is not, again, not a strict rule of like, I have to accomplish these goals, because just by doing this, it's helping you reflect about your life. That's already a game changer. And then if you can get it closer a little bit every month, well, that's great, but don't be hard on yourself. The 10th goal, I put Madrid, because I moved to Madrid 4 years ago. And I very much, I don't think anyone said it to my face, but I felt in my last job that they kind of were like, why would you go to Madrid? Like, you have a great job, you live in Washington, D.C., like, you have an amazing life. Why would you leave it to Spain where the economy isn't as good? And I moved to Madrid because I felt like Spain's values are more aligned with mine. I am generalizing a bit. Like, there are how many million? 30 million people maybe in Spain. I could get it wrong. But anyways, yeah, I feel like it's 30 million, which would be about a tenth of the population in the US. Sounds about right. Maybe, or maybe even smaller. Anyways, like obviously there are many different viewpoints in Spain, but I think overall it is a bit more socially oriented country. Like public health care. It's just a very social country, and I feel like they care more about people. So I have a goal here because I moved to Madrid. I made it intentional. It means I'm probably sacrificing a higher salary. Well, for sure. I make less than half what I used to make. So this goal is to make sure that I am enjoying Madrid as much as possible. Like instead of just going out drinking, which is definitely a part of a cultural thing, like going to an orchestra, going to the opera, going to an outdoor film, going to an exhibit. I set that as a monthly goal because I want to make sure that I do what I came here for, to enjoy life. That's why I came to Spain, enjoy life, and yeah, make the most of living in Madrid. Like I feel very grateful to live in the city. So, and then the last one, I used to have a goal with spiritual. I don't know if I've plateaued, but for right now, I've changed this more to, it could be a spiritual goal, and I think that's important for people. But I changed this. I also sometimes have a sustainability goal. That's also a very important area in my life. I work in sustainability, but I already work on it. Yeah. So the last goal for me is community. I have noticed it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter if you've accomplished all the goals in your life. If you do not have community, if you do not feel connected to others, I at least don't feel like I'm having a great life. That's just the truth. So it can be as little as saying hello to your neighbor when you buy the groceries, like leave a positive comment to someone, chat with a neighbor, maybe propose a coffee sometime or help them out with something. Like for me, it's really important to feel like I am connecting with my community, or I feel very disoriented and disconnected from life. I grew up going to church, so like being connected to community and people was something like really ingrained in me, and I like really, really appreciate that. So that is it, guys. So I can write down maybe in the comments like these goals and how I break it down, because I know I go into a rant. But I think the key thing is take intentional time. However it's easiest, maybe it can be every day, which I think is a lot, but at least every month, take the time to see key areas of your life. How do you want to improve? So at least it goes from negative to being okay, and then hopefully being like, I don't know, flourishing and feeling better. For me, it's been super helpful when I go day to day and maybe I'm like feeling like, oh, I'm not doing great in this, or I feel kind of lost. And then I'm like, okay, everything's okay. I know I'm going to have like my monthly review, goal review, and I can kind of I can check in with myself of how am I doing. So yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions or reflections. I definitely invite you to reflect with me. Thank you.